painting has been discovered of the last crown prince of the Russian Empire. That's Alexei Romanov, and it was found in a historical building in the town of Pushkino near St. Petersburg. The oil painting was rolled up, wrapped in newspapers and kept in a secret compartment inside a wall. It's believed to be a copy of a photo of Alexei dating back to 1913 or 1914. Now, one theory is that the owner considered it a dangerous possession to have following the October Revolution of 1917. The hidden portrait was partly damaged due to the way it had been stored. Specialists are now working to restore it and to find out who the artist was. The painting will become part of the art collection of the Tsarskoye Selo Museum. Alexei Romanov was executed, you'll remember, together with his father, Emperor Nicholas II, his mother, Empress Alexandra, and his 4 sisters in Yekaterinburg in 1917. They were later canonized by the Orthodox Church.
4 centuries may have passed since the Romanovs ruled Russia, but their family home still looks just as it did all those years ago.
Yeah, the building still stands proud in the centre of Moscow, and after some careful restoration now offers visitors the chance to get a taste of life in the 17th century. To tell us more, here's Primetime Svetlana Kareka.
There's a street in Moscow where time seems to have stopped. It may be located in the bustling city center, but it takes you right back to the Middle Ages, with one house here even offering a rare glimpse at how Russia's nobles lived centuries ago. And not just any nobles, but a family that eventually ruled Russia. We're in Varvarka Street, a stone's throw away from the Kremlin. Minus the cars and some modern constructions, it looks ancient enough, filled with churches and medieval houses. And it's here that still stands the family home of the Romanov dynasty, who throned in Russia from the early 17th century until the Russian Revolution put an end to monarchy in 1917. Before they became Tsars, the Romanovs were part of the rich nobility, called the Boyars. They rose to Tsardom during the political upheavals known as the Time of Troubles, when one of them, Mikhail Romanov, was crowned in 1613. Mikhail is believed to have been born in this house, but after he was crowned, the family moved to the Kremlin and presented the estate to a newly founded monastery nearby. In the 19th century, though, the building was restored and opened as a museum of the Romanovs. Quite surprisingly, it survived through the Soviet era and is now known as the Chambers of the Romanov Boyars. The 17th century interiors haven't been meticulously restored, with plenty of original items and furniture. The museum offers a unique look at what daily life of Moscow's medieval nobility was like. The ground floor is the men's quarters, dark and imposing. This is where the family gathered for meals and entertained guests, and where the men worked and studied. The first floor has the women's chambers, isolated from the house's public spaces, but bright and airy. And these numerous windows to give plenty of light are not accidental, since at the time needlework was far more than a woman's key pastime. It was an absolute must. A woman was considered unfit to marry if she wasn't good with lace frames and spinning wheels, so noblemen's daughters were expected to embroider just like any of their housemaids. It may be quite small, but this museum brings you a world exotic enough to take you on a trip back in time. Come over to feel like a would-be royal for a day. Svetlana Kurakina, Primetime Russia, RT.
Museum right in Red Square, where they have a special display at the moment, and that's the Great Imperial Crown of Russia. Now, to be honest, okay, that is not the original crown.
Oh,
because,
man.
yeah, there is a reason for that. The original Imperial Crown of Russia, which is the main symbol of the power of the Russian monarchs, starting from, was the main imperial symbol of the Russian monarchs, starting from 1762 to 1917. That one is kept at the Diamond Fund in the Kremlin museums, and there is a law that states it can't be taken anywhere from there. so it should be on display there all the time. But at the State Historical Museum, they have an exhibition celebrating the Romanov dynasty.
The 300 years, right?
400 years.
400 years, yeah, of course, 400.
And so they wanted their own crown, and that coincided, you know, with Russian diamond industry celebrating their anniversary as well. So craftsmen from Smolensk, they created that replica, and they wanted it to make, you know, probably even better. So they used more diamonds, and the original one is made of silver. This one is made of white gold.
It's fantastic, and it's such a beautiful display, so crisp. With everything, the color of the walls, I like it.
Let me get it straight, maybe I'm not getting something. What we just saw, was that actual real diamonds, or it was just something sparkly?
No, they are diamonds, and there are more diamonds in that replica crown than in the original one. Both are diamond crowns. But it just, the only difference is that the original one weighs less because there were, by the time it was created, because it was used to crown the monarchs, it couldn't weigh more than 2 kilos. Otherwise, you know, their head would just fall off. And this one, they had no such restriction, so that's why they put more diamonds into it, you know. But it looks the same, and it's all authentic. And I wonder where it will go after the display.
So it's in the Kremlin right now. We can check it out there in the
Not
Historical
in the Kremlin,
Museum.
in the Historical Museum.
Yeah.
In Red Square. The original one is in the Kremlin, and the replica, which is also, you know, authentic diamonds at the State Historical Museum in Red Square.
The investigative committee says that there is no evidence that the family of Russia's last Tsar was murdered on Vladimir Lenin's order. It also announced that the probe into the death of the Romanov family is now closed.
Primetime's Igor Piskunov has more details. Igor, what's been said today?
Well, the investigators have officially closed the investigation looking into the execution of Tsar Nicholas II and his family, and have passed the official conclusion, the official 800-long page conclusion of this investigation to representatives of the Romanov family. And basically what they're saying, the main point of the investigation is that they did not find any documented proof that Vladimir Lenin or any of the top senior communist officials of the time gave an order to execute Tsar Nicholas II and his family. The representative of the Romanov family, of their relatives spread across the entire world now, he said that even though there may be no official documented proof of communist leaders giving this order to execute the Tsar and his family, there may have been a verbal order given to do so. And the investigators say that the majority of their investigation is based on notes on one of the revolutionaries, the Bolsheviks, who leaded the execution itself. So they didn't find anything about Lenin or any senior officials in these notes. But according to the representative of the Romanov family, first of all, there could have been a verbal command, or he's been talking about Lev Trotsky, who was the key ally of Vladimir Lenin, one of the most powerful people at the time in Soviet Russia. Actually, after Lenin's death, he was pushed away from power by Joseph Stalin, and then later on was executed himself, assassinated in Mexico. And in his personal memoirs, he recalled his conversation with another senior communist official of the time, who personally told him that he, along with Vladimir Lenin, personally planned the execution. So I guess there's still some things to be found out, especially from the behalf of the relatives of the royal family there.
And Igor, we're talking about events that really did happen quite a while ago. So what was it that prompted this investigation?
Well, the assassination and execution, actually, of Russia's last royal family, Tsar Nicholas II, and his wife and children and family members and even servants, is definitely one of the biggest mysteries of the 20th century. They were executed back in 1918 by Bolshevik revolutionaries near the city of Yekaterinburg in the Urals. The remains of their bodies have been found ground. There's also some questions into whether some of these bodies in fact do belong to the people that used to be members of the family. And of course, this investigation, which has been going on since the collapse of the USSR, looking into how did the royal family die and who gave the order to do so. And there are many reasons for that, since, well, definitely because of the extremely high level of importance of the royal family, plus their bodies do have to be reunited because the majority of the family has been buried in St. Petersburg. These two remaining bodies are still remaining without them, have to be reburied with them. And even though investigators say they're sure they belonged to members of the royal family, a lot of play here is done by the church, which has canonized the entire family, and they want to be entirely 150% sure that the bodies belong to the family and know exactly how all of them died. So all of this has been going on for quite a while now, and lots of questions still remain into how will they be able to find this common ground, the investigators on one side and the church and the relatives, the family members, on the other side.
Even so, officially the probe into the death of the Romanov family has now been closed. We're talking to our correspondent Igor Piskunov. Thank you.